Welcome everyone. I'm excited to kick off our presentation today. We're going to explore Mega Goal 1.2, focusing on Unit 11, which is all about if it hadn't happened and understanding grammar related to that. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through key concepts and practical examples that will help you master this topic. So let's get started. So on this slide, we see two examples. I shouldn't have left my book outside in the rain, but I did, and I should have called you earlier, but I didn't. These sentences show us how we use a specific structure to talk about things we wish we had done differently in the past. It's a way of expressing regret or wishing things had gone another way. When we say, I shouldn't have, we're saying we made a mistake or something wasn't the best decision. And when we say, but I did, or but I didn't, it emphasizes that, despite knowing better, we still did or didn't do that thing. This structure is really useful for sharing our regrets or reflecting on past actions, and it ties into the overall theme of understanding how to express wishes about the past in English. So let's look at some examples to understand how these structures work. First, think about this. I shouldn't have eaten so much cake. That means I did eat a lot of cake, and now I don't feel very good about it. It's a way to express regret about a past action. Now compare that with I should have studied harder. Here, it indicates that I didn't study enough, and as a result, I failed the exam. It's a way of saying I regret not doing more in the past. On this slide, we see the structure called P3, which refers to the past participle form of the verb. When we use should have plus a past participle, it's an expression of regret or criticism about a past action. Notice the negative form, not have should subject. This structure is used to express that something was not done but perhaps should have been. For example, I shouldn't have eaten so much cake. And then the positive or affirmative form, have should subject. This is used to express what someone should have done, like, I should have studied harder. Understanding these structures helps us talk about things we regret or wish had happened differently in the past. They're essential for expressing regret, advice, or criticism about past actions. As we move forward, keep in mind how these forms can help you communicate more naturally about past experiences. Let's take a closer look at some examples of what people should have done differently in these situations. Starting with number 6, Mr. Johnson should have been at the meeting last night. Missing important meetings can really impact communication and decision-making. Moving to number 5, we shouldn't have gone to Gino's restaurant. Sometimes, choosing the right venue is crucial for the atmosphere or the message we want to send. Then, number 4, they should have asked Emilio to go out with them. Including everyone can foster better relationships and teamwork. For number 3, Rita should have gone to the doctor. Ignoring health concerns can lead to bigger problems later on. Number 2, Brad should have had an extra key. Being prepared with a spare can save a lot of trouble in emergencies. And finally, number 1, Jan shouldn't have lent April the money. Lending money without careful consideration can sometimes lead to strain or misunderstandings. These examples really highlight the importance of making thoughtful choices and how they connect to the overall theme of responsible decision-making. Today, we're looking at how to talk about past results that didn't happen, using the if conditional. For example, imagine saying, if you had called me, I would have come. This structure shows a past situation that didn't actually occur but could have led to a different outcome. The key point here is the form. We use the past perfect, which is had plus the past participle in the if clause. So it's if plus had plus the third form of the verb. Then in the result clause, we use would have followed by the past participle. This kind of sentence helps us talk about things that didn't happen in the past and what the result might have been. It's also useful when reflecting on what we could or should have done differently. Remember, these conditional sentences are a great way to express regret or imagine alternative past scenarios. They connect past actions with their possible outcomes, which is a common theme when analyzing past decisions or missed opportunities. Let's look at some examples to make this clearer. Imagine if you had graduated. In that case, we would be celebrating right now. Or, if we had gone to that new restaurant, we wouldn't be hungry now. These sentences use the past perfect form, which is had plus the past participle. In these examples, you'll notice the structure begins with if, followed by the past perfect, and then the main clause with would plus the base form of the verb. This is what we call a third conditional sentence. The key point here is that these sentences talk about things that didn't happen in the past, but have a result in the present. So, they're useful for reflecting on missed opportunities or hypothetical situations that could affect our current circumstances. Remember, whenever you see if plus the past perfect, you're dealing with a conditional that talks about past unreal situations with present consequences. Keep this structure in mind as it's very common in expressing regret or imagining different outcomes. Let's look at this example. The first one shows the ability to do something. It says, if I had gotten the right tools, I could have repaired my car. So here, we're talking about a past situation where, with the right tools, the repair would have been possible. The key words are could have, which express ability in the past that was dependent on certain conditions. Next, we see the possibility example. If I had studied hard, I might have passed the exam. This highlights how, in the past, studying hard could have increased my chances of passing, but it wasn't guaranteed. The phrase might have indicates a possibility, not certainty. Looking at the form, both examples use the past perfect, which is had plus the past participle, or PP3. This tense helps us talk about hypothetical situations in the past. Then, we combine it with could have or might have to express ability or possibility. So overall, this slide emphasizes how we use the past perfect with modal verbs like could and might to talk about unreal or hypothetical situations that relate to past abilities or possibilities. It's a useful way to reflect on what could have happened, based on different conditions. All right, now let's move on to the practice section. Here, we're going to apply what we've learned. The letters on the slide, C, D, B, F, G, and E, represent different concepts or steps in our process. As we go through these, I want you to think about how each one connects to the overall theme of the presentation. Remember, understanding the sequence and relationship between these points is key. So, let's keep the flow conversational and focus on grasping the main ideas behind each step. This practice will help solidify your understanding and prepare you to apply these concepts effectively. In this slide, I want to highlight how we often reflect on what we might have said or done differently in various situations. For example, if I had gone out at night, I would have taken my key with me. This shows the importance of being prepared and thinking ahead to avoid unnecessary problems. Similarly, I might have waited until morning to take out the garbage, which could have been a better decision to prevent any inconvenience or mess. And if I had encountered a police officer and needed to explain my situation, I would have taken the time to clearly communicate what was happening. Overall, these examples connect to our broader theme of how considering different actions can help us improve our decision-making and handle situations more effectively. It's about reflecting on what could have been done differently to achieve better outcomes. If I found myself in a situation where I accidentally offended someone or made a social mistake, I would start by offering a sincere apology. It's important to acknowledge the impact of my actions and show that I care about their feelings. Then, I might mention that the person looked like a friend of mine, which can help create a more personal and relatable connection. This can also serve as an icebreaker, making the situation feel less tense. From there, I might continue the conversation by introducing myself to the person, especially if I haven't done so already. Engaging in a friendly chat not only helps to clear the air, but also opens the door for building a new connection. These steps, apologizing, making a personal comment, and introducing myself, are simple yet effective ways to handle social missteps. They align with the broader theme of building genuine relationships and handling awkward moments with grace and authenticity. I would have told my friend the truth about the dent. It's often tempting to hide small issues like this, but being honest can really make a difference. If I had been upfront, I might have had the dent fixed earlier, saving time and perhaps even money in the long run. This highlights an important lesson about transparency and addressing problems before they grow. In the bigger picture, it's a reminder that open communication can prevent minor issues from turning into bigger challenges. Being honest not only helps maintain trust, but also encourages proactive solutions. So, in a situation like this, I would have explained the situation to my friend and asked her to pay. It's about being honest and straightforward, which can often resolve the issue quickly. I might also have asked the restaurant if they accepted checks, just in case that was an option. Sometimes, knowing what payment methods are available can save the day. And if all else fails, I could have called my brother and asked him to bring my wallet to the restaurant. It's about thinking on your feet and considering all possible solutions. These strategies highlight the importance of communication and resourcefulness, which are key themes we've been discussing throughout this presentation.